Good day, people of YouTube. What's going on? The name is AK, owner of eXtremeAzure Productions, and I'm bringing you yet another X-Talk video presentation today, and we're going to be discussing, well, YouTube. Now, this is kind of out of character for me because if you take a look at my upload history, my videos tend to consist of like travel videos, vlogs, and especially gaming-related content. And so this is kind of out of character for me, but I wanted to discuss this because in a way this actually kind of affects me. And that is the changes that YouTube has made to the YouTube Partner Program. Now, if you're not familiar with that, basically that is how people on this website make money. When you become a YouTube partner, your channel becomes eligible for monetization, and as long as it's eligible, that's how you generate revenue. Now, under their old policy, their original policy, which has now been changed, which is what's causing all this controversy, I was eligible and my channel was enabled for monetization, although I wasn't really making anything from this, like seriously, because my videos, as you can see, don't get a lot of views. I just do this as a hobby. I just make videos because I enjoy making videos. But it is a little bit kind of an annoyance that I am now no longer eligible, and the way they worded it, it was so PR-like, but you can really tell what the actual message is. So let me just read the email that was sent to me, and that was also sent to many other small channels who are now outraged by this. And it says, "What's changing? Under the new eligibility requirements announced today, your YouTube channel, eXtremeAzure, is no longer eligible for monetization because it doesn't meet the new threshold of 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. As a result, your channel will lose monetization tools and features associated with the YouTube Partner Program on February 20th, 2018, unless you surpass this threshold within the next 30 days. Accordingly, this email serves as your 30-day notice that your YouTube Partner Program terms are terminated. One of YouTube's core values is to provide anyone the opportunity to earn money from a thriving channel. Creators who haven't yet reached this new threshold can continue to benefit from our Creator Academy, our Help Center, and all the resources on the creator side to grow their channels. Once your channel reaches the new threshold, it will be reviewed to make sure it adheres to our policies and guidelines, and if so, monetization will be re-enabled. The YouTube team." So basically what all of this translates to is very simply, hey buddy, your channel's too small, it's not generating enough traffic, so we're gonna have to drop you, okay? We don't have any room for you small fries anymore. So, get your channel up to par, start generating a bigger audience, and maybe we could talk money again, alright? But until then, bada bing, bada boom, that's just the way this business works. Goodbye, see you later. Basically, that's what this translates to. And in a way, it makes sense, and in a way, it's terrible. And this really kind of explains, a lot of the decisions that YouTube has been making over the past several months. Like, how many times have we been through this situation before where YouTube announces something and everyone collectively goes, "What on earth are you doing? Like, who thought of this?" And we're going through the exact same thing again now. I mean, just a few months ago was Adpocalypse, now it's the changes to the YouTube Partner Program. And so if it follows the past pattern and what we've seen with these situations, then there's going to be outrage, like what we're already getting into. There's going to be outrage over YouTube's stupid decision, and then big YouTubers are probably going to chime in. Media might talk about it as well. And this is going to continue for the next several days, several weeks, and then eventually it's all going to just simmer down, and we're going to find something else to complain about because there will be something else controversial that will come up, of course. And really, when it comes to this situation, as well as the past situations like the Adpocalypse, all of this points to one fact that people need to remember. YouTube is a product which belongs to a very big company, which belongs to another very big company, meaning that all of this is now big business, okay? YouTube is the product, and YouTube itself is also a company which is owned by Google, and Google itself is an even bigger company which is owned by the even bigger company of Alphabet. So it's kind of a trickle-down effect. And YouTube, when it started over a decade ago, it was supposed to be a place where creators could get attached to their audience instantaneously. It took away all of the hoops that one would have to jump through when getting their show on TV or movie in cinemas. There's a lot of hoops. It's a very complicated, time-consuming, expensive process to do all that. Whereas YouTube, it removes all of those caveats, all of those obstructions, and it just gets you in front of your audience. You create the content, as long as it's up to policy, you upload it to YouTube, you share it out with the world, and then you hope that someone cares enough to watch it. That's how YouTube has always worked, and that's how thousands of people have been able to carve out their own little audiences and have built massive careers from it. How many YouTubers have we become like overnight success stories and whatnot. And all for different things. You have so many different variations of content on this website. You have game channels, travel channels, cooking, comedy, film, animation, there's music, there's just so much here. And it's all a very nice concept. And that's why it's been able to work so well. But at the same time, because it's a very nice concept and because it's become so popular, turning YouTube into one of the biggest websites in the entire world, not in a specific region, in the entire world, YouTube is one of the most visited websites constantly, all over the world. Because it's become such a big entity, it has basically now had to bend over to the same rules that TV and film have had to do so. Because people have built massive careers out of this, because people have essentially become stars, you've essentially created the exact same environment that you have on TV and movies. It's still not as complicated as that, but when it comes down to the whole business aspect of it, it is. Because the reason why people are able to make money is because, you know, they're creating audiences and they're generating so much traffic, and advertisers want to get their products in people's faces. So if millions of people are coming to YouTube, they're gonna put their advertisements on the website. That's how YouTube makes money, because you're not paying to access YouTube, unless of course like you get like YouTube Red or whatever, but you're not paying to access YouTube, so the website has to find some way to generate revenue, and ads is how it does it. And so these creators, they get big and then they become the perfect breeding ground for these advertisements. And that's why you see so many sponsorships. Like, how many times have you seen a YouTuber have an ad slot for something like Skillshare or Squarespace, Blue Apron, and so many others? I constantly keep saying the same companies pop up over and over again across different channels, but that is how YouTube generates its revenue. And so what we see happening here is, because advertisers want to have that exact same environment that they do on TV and in cinema and whatnot, these YouTubers, they have to adhere to that. And as a result, YouTube itself has to create an environment that is advertiser friendly. That was the whole thing with Adpocalypse. With that being the case, YouTube does not want anything threatening its profits, right? That's why we have the whole Adpocalypse situation, because YouTube, that was a threat, direct threat to its profits, because the advertisers were pulling out. And so what we see here with this policy change is that YouTube is now basically securing its profits in a way. It's moving the goalposts a little bit higher for people to start making money, because it's hoping by doing this, it's going to light the fire under people's feet and to get them being more serious. Like, if you really want to make a career out of YouTube, if you really want to be on this website and make a career out of this, you're going to have to push yourself harder. You're going to have to really prove to us that you can generate traffic and make us money so we can give you money. That's essentially what this is. It's all related to money. So with that being the case, I think this is going to be like, it's a very split situation, because on one hand, YouTube is trying to basically encourage people to do more, but I have a feeling that this may just backfire and end up discouraging people. It's going to make them want to do less, because it's already hard enough trying to become a big YouTuber. It's basically a game of chance, because I mean, I forgot the exact statistic, but there are thousands, if not millions of hours of video that are uploaded to this website every single day. There are millions of people who are uploading to this website. So it's not easy for your specific video, your specific channel to stand out. And that's why people would be on this website for years and years, and it's only after several years they actually start gaining some traction. You have a lot of YouTubers who were on this website for years, and then all of a sudden, just somehow their channel just blew up overnight. That's how it's happened in several different cases. You have the very few cases, like in the situation with the Paul brothers, where they were popular before and then they come to YouTube and then they become even more popular. But in most cases where you have just your normal, everyday, average person, they start a YouTube channel, things start off slow, and then eventually it'll pick up. Maybe it'll pick up in time. And the absolute best way is if they're found by an already big YouTuber, and then that big YouTuber maybe collaborates them or shouts them out, and then their audience from that big YouTuber will then probably might be interested in this much smaller YouTuber's content, and then that will get them to become more popular. That's exactly how this thing has been working over the past couple of years. And I think that's exactly what YouTube is doing now, is that it's giving more security to those big YouTubers, because it's essentially putting them on an even higher pedestal now, because they've already achieved that big business and they need to maintain that. And so now they're going to be even more serious about their content. They're going to make sure it's completely advertiser friendly. They're going to be putting even more effort into their content, because they don't want this career to go away. And that's essentially what this is. It's a very competitive environment, and YouTube has just made it even more competitive because it wants people to be more serious. It wants people to really show that they are going to be willing to essentially be employees, because when you become a YouTuber, that's what you are. You're an employee of YouTube when you become a dedicated YouTuber who has a big audience. And so as a result, this vetting process, which is essentially what it is, has now become more extreme because YouTube wants those very serious employees who are going to be pulling in as much money as possible. That is what this is all about. It's all tied to money. I mean, just look how YouTube handled the whole Logan Paul situation. I'm sure you've heard of it by now, so there was no reason for me to get into it. But the reason why they took so long to react to it is because Logan Paul is one of the A-class YouTubers. Just like how you have the A-list celebrities, you have the A-list YouTubers. And because Logan Paul was all the way up there, it probably hurt them, you know, to have to pull the plug on his YouTube Red projects and take him out of the preferred advertising ring because he's generating so much money for the website. And so that's probably why they took so long, because they were just probably sitting there biting their nails trying to figure out how do we keep him, but at the same time, how do we get all these people off of our backs? And so they decided to just do what is essentially a PR stunt and say, okay, yeah, look, we're punishing him. But I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure some big executive up there was very, very upset that they had to inflict this punishment on him because Logan Paul is such a big money generator, and that's what YouTube is looking for. It's looking for these big money generators. That's why it's making these policy changes. It's saying that you need to have 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and at least 1,000 subscribers. None of that is easy to achieve. And at the end of the day, YouTube has the power to do this. The reason why YouTube keeps making these terrible decisions is because they not only are they looking for monetary security, but at the same time, they also know that what is anyone else going to do? Like, there are other video sharing websites, but they're so small compared to YouTube. They just don't have the reach. I mean, you have your Vimeos, for example, your vid.me's, but how often does someone send you a video and it's from Vimeo or vid.me or any other video sharing website? 9 out of 10 times it's going to be from YouTube, and if it's not from YouTube, it's probably a video on Facebook. And really, that's YouTube's next biggest competition is Facebook, but at the same time, Facebook is popular for a lot of other different reasons than just video sharing. Because YouTube is all about video sharing, it's a dedicated platform, it's the biggest one out there, and everything else is so tiny that YouTube is able to get away with these things because, like, where else are you going to go? As terrible as the apocalypse situation was, where YouTubers were losing thousands of dollars, most of them did not leave because they just had to deal with it because there was nowhere else for them to go. If they've chosen this as their primary career, they need to tough it out regardless of how many bad decisions the company makes, because there is nowhere else for them to go. Very rarely do you hear of a YouTuber totally quitting because there is nowhere else to go, unless they have something else to fall back on, like maybe they have another career opportunity, or perhaps they may have saved all their money and now they're living off of that. In most cases, YouTubers don't quit because this is what they've made their life to be. This is their career, and this is what they have to stick with. And so with this policy change, I think that it's just going to end up being the exact same way, where people are just going to complain about it now. It's going to be talked about over the next several days, several weeks, but eventually it's just going to quiet down and slowly go away. People are just going to have to accept it, because at the end of the day, what are you to do? If you want this, then there's nowhere else to go. So, and that's the way YouTube's looking at it. Like, hey, it may look bad, but you can't live with us and you can't live without us, so make your decision. That's essentially what YouTube is saying here. And I just want people to realize that. That's why I decided to make this video. Again, I'm not too peeved about it because I was never making any money off of this in the first place, so I honestly don't care. Again, this is just a hobby thing for me, but I can understand that people who are really passionate about creating videos and who really wanted to make a career out of this, I just hope that if you really are serious about it, then you will keep trying and go ahead, do what you like. If you enjoy making videos, go ahead, do what you like, because there's nothing worse than having a job that you don't like. So if this is what you enjoy, then, and if you're making wholesome content, then good for you, keep it up, and I hope that this policy change will not affect you that badly. And if it does, then hopefully you can find something else perhaps that will satisfy what you're looking for. And just remember, life isn't all about making money. As long as you're making enough money to take care of your needs, then you're doing fine. You don't have to be rich, you don't have to be the next big thing. As long as you're making enough money just to take care of your needs, that is what you should be focusing on, because trying to obsess over money, it never works out. Rich people are typically the most miserable people. So, hey, maybe YouTube's just doing you a favor. You never know.